Oh, come on. Hello. Didn't work for a minute, froze, but I'm here. Sorry about that, technical difficulties. I do check these things before I start, but for some reason it wasn't working. Oh, well, no, when I checked it, it was working. And then the one above wasn't, so I fixed that. So anyway, hello, hope you're doing well. Hey, Linda. Sorry about my technical catastrophes at the start. We've been actually quite good for a few weeks without any technical dramas. Hey, Shona. Um, Right, so I do have some crafting to show you tonight, but a couple of things just to remind you of before we get started. So, last chance list, we're in the last 6 days. The 30th of April, that is when all the items to the last chance list will be gone for good. Some of them, as you know, have already gone because they were only while stocks last, and some of those bargains have already disappeared. There are still some really good bargains to be had, so if you haven't had a look at it yet, do check it out. Second thing to tell you about is the clearance rack has been updated. So that means that there are some new heavily reduced items on the clearance rack. So check it out, head to the website and grab some of those bargains. They are older items which we've had in the past that they've got limited stock of, which is why they've put them onto the clearance rack. And again, it's while stocks last, first come, first served. So if you're checking out for good bargains, that's always a good place to look. The next thing to tell you is if for those who are hunting down even more bargains, next weekend in Kilmarnock will be the Crafters Boot sale. I've posted on my page already about it. I will post again. I will be there. I will have a lot of items there to sell. In fact, behind my computer right now is just piled high. I've been pulling out. For those who have been to my house and seen my craft room, you would not recognise the corner and beside the window. It's clearer than I've seen it for a very long time, but that's because all of that stuff is coming with me to the Crafters Boot sale. So again, more bargains to be had there. Really do check it out. Not just me, there's lots of other stands there. It's a really, really good event, and I would highly recommend it. Yeah, that's all I have to mention to you today. There's a few things I'm going to stick them on an email if you're on my mailing list, and they'll be coming out to you shortly. And the catalogues are all stacked up, ready to go in the post as well. So that should be reaching you too. Okay, let's jump to the crafty side. I've got definitely one project, maybe two. Let's flick round and check that this works. It does work, good. I'm going to try it without the lights tonight because it's really very bright. It's a little bit of a shadow, but I think we should be all right. So what I want to do tonight, while I was looking through my stuff that I'm taking with me to the Crafters Boot sale, I found this, and this was from my fabulous friend Becca, who made me this card, and it's really clever. See if I just turn that around. But it's a pocket card made out of DSP, and I thought, I mean, obviously this is retired DSP, retired products, but I thought it would be really cool to try and recreate that using some of the current stuff, because I've got a wee bit of DSP that is retiring, so I thought it would be fun to use some of this to try and recreate that card. And that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to try it with this one. You see, that's the thing, I've got so much DSP that's really pretty, but do you know what? It's retiring, Emma. Use it up. Use it up. So I've never made one of these. This is somebody else who made it. So I'm just going to have a look to see how she made it. And by the looks of things, this bit, do you ever do that? Reverse engineer? Yeah, that's 6 inches. Now the one thing I want to check though, will that fit in our envelopes? Because that is important. And it does. Hey, look at that. It fits in an envelope. Right, so I know that that is 6 inches, and I can see from the way that this is done is that it's 2. So then I think that's probably going to be 4. Ah, it's not. It's 4 1/4. That's interesting. Although, again, there's a bit that's cut off there. How has she done this? She is such a clever girl for creating this. Clever lady. Trying to do it using the least amount of DSP possible. So that bit is clearly, that bit's, did she glue that down? No. So we know that that's 6 inches and that's 6 inches. And then we've got this bit, right. So that bit's 4 1/4. So I think what I need to do is, see if I do it this way around. Will that look pretty? I think. Let's score it very gently at 6 inches. You want to be gentle when you're using your scorer and our DSP. Hey Karen, hey Ali. For those who are just joining us, we're doing some reverse engineering tonight. There is a beautiful card that I found in my pile of stuff that I'm trying to recreate. So this is what we're trying to do. I think you start with 6 by 6 and then, you see I want to do it that way, I reckon. So this is 4 1/4. Okay, so if I want to have it like that, I want to score at 4 1/4. See, she is a very good friend, and if I asked for the instructions, she'd probably send them to me. But you know how that's the way you just want to kind of figure it out yourself. 4 1/4, 8 1/2. Let's just do this. What could possibly go wrong? So, I now have a card blank. I need my bone folder. Oh dear. This is what happens when you tidy up. You then can't find anything. I say tidy up. That's an absolute joke. If you could see the riot that is my craft room right now. There we go. I do have another card that I want to try after this one, so I appreciate we're being a bit haphazard tonight. It's a bit of a wing it Wednesday. But I'm hoping it'll all come together. So we've got that bit there. So it would appear that this bit is sliced. So let's put that in 6 inches and slice down the center. So that's 4 1/4. Okay. And then this piece, got a bit sliced off it as well. So that is, try not to stick my head right underneath it. So 2 inches. Okay, I'm going to say that she cut 2 1/2 inches off of that bit. Am I the only one who attempts to do this, that sees things either online or that you've received or seen in a shop or something and thinks, I could make that? Then open it up inside and then that bit folds down. Actually, this is starting to come together, guys. This is starting to work. Right, so what we've got so far is scored at 6. We've got this bit cut off here. We've got a fold down here, Wing It Wednesdays. I'm glad you approve, Karen. And then this bit comes over, comes round. So that's the front of the card. And then what we do is we stick that down. Now this bit here, I'm just going to trim that a little. This can't possibly go wrong. I'm going to just trim this a little with my scissors. Yeah, they're not snips. Don't judge me. I should have used snips. It would have been better. Oh well. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So then we've got the card that opens up, and then you've got this pocket, and then what's done for this one? So stuck something fancy down there. What could I have? Glimmer or glitter. And then on the inside, got a white panel there. So let's get my trusty Whisper White, basic white. You all do it, just not live on Facebook. No, that is my own special brand of madness, Karen. But it's one of the ways that you know I am far from perfect. I don't think I've ever pretended to be perfect. But if I can do this and make a dafty of myself live on Facebook, you guys can. What's that? That does all seem to be in inches, so let's stick with inches. So we're going to do that at 5.5 by 3 3/4. So 5.5 by 3 3/4. I'll get 2 of these. Now one of these sticks on there, and then the other one is the pocket that goes on the other side for my message. Move that over, and then I need something to stick down the front. And then again, if I look at this, got that cut out bit with the doily. I could do this bit cut out on there to layer that up, but let's figure out what I'm going to stick down there. Ooh, this is a good idea, isn't it? Soft shimmer specialty. Now the decision is, do I go with the Pretty Peacock to match, or do I go with, to be fair, I could go with any of these colours. I think the pink, but do I do the dark pink or the light pink? The navy is too dark. What do we think? Bright pink? Pale pink? I'm going to do a strip of both, guys, so that you can have a look at them both and see what you think works. So let's, this is just beautiful, this shimmer stuff. I should have used more of it. Let's take this to, see, I'm sure what she used there was washi tape. Do 1/2 inch. Hey Julie, we need your help. I need everybody's help. Do I do this in the dark pink or the light pink? We're going to cut one of each and decide. And I need it 6 inches. I'm just measuring it against the bottom of my trimmer because I know that that's 6 inches. So that's what the light pink looks like. Or that's the deep pink. I say that. One of them's Berry Burst and the other one is, what do we think it is? Petal Pink? There's my thing. Berry Burst or Bubble Bath. The light pink will show up better on the dark DSP. Part of me is wondering if we do both. And then again, if we go back to our original, so we need then a circle cut out of that. See what I can find punch wise. Slightly too big. What's that? All the votes for the light. Light it is then. You know, I trust you guys when it comes to design ideas. Let's get some glue. So, before I glue down the shimmer strip, I'm just going to glue down this piece. And then let's glue this in place. Anybody else ever do that? You end up with glue all over your hands, just rub it in. Embrace it. It's like when we were kids and used to cover our fingers with PVA. That's pretty. And then that on top. We've got this inside. Let's put this layer inside where our sentiment's going to be. That covers it up too much. No. I wondered about whether I should make it just like a little bit smaller around the edges, but actually it's good. It breaks up the inside. I've still got the little pocket that can be written on there. Hey Margaret! That's okay. I'm not normally great with timekeeping, so I certainly don't complain about anybody else. What do we want for the larger bit? On this one it was a doily. What could we use? Ooh, I have an idea. Vellum. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a square of vellum. So this is already just under 5 inches. So let's do this as well. And then I'm going to fold that in half. Make that score line nice and firm. You know, score lines on vellum show up beautifully white. Let's fold it again. And then let's fold fold it again. Am I going to be able to fold it once more? Yep. Let's do it again. Fold that over that way. Right. Then what I want to do, I'm going to tear it all the way around like that. And then when we open this up, it's not a doily, but it is decorated vellum circle. Is it going to be too big? Still going to be too big. That's all right. So what I'll do is I'll fold that in quarters again and then just rip round it a bit more. So, and we're going for the rough, distressed look here. Let's flatten these out. There we go. I think that looks all right. What do you think? Crazy, leave it alone, or stick it on? It looks interesting. I think it looks interesting. Right, with vellum, when you stick down vellum, your glue will be seen to the edges. So the way of sticking it is making sure that whatever you stick it down with, you then cover up. And the best way to do that is stick on the thing first and then put the glue on the other side, because you'll be able to see. So if you watch what I'm talking about, because you might be thinking, Emma, you're talking absolute nonsense. If I stick this down here, I need something other than Tombow, but we are what we are. We are where we are. I've done this, so I will keep going. Make sure that Tombow sticks to the inside. Right. So now I can put glue on the other side, and I can see very easily where the glue needs to be. I'm covered in glue here. And let's stick that on the front, this pocket card. There we go. Right, what do we need next? If we're copying this one, we need a sentiment down the centre here. Let's find a punch and a sentiment to it. So this is one of my brand new stamp sets from the new 2024-25 catalogue. It's called Unbounded Love. Beautiful, beautiful font, beautiful words. And I think this card is going to be a birthday card. This one is also one of the stamp sets by one of our $1 Million Achievers, by Debbie Mogzek, who has achieved something which is very, very cool. Very few, I mean less than 1% of demonstrators achieve 1 million. It's a very impressive achievement. I am only about 10% of the way there, so I am in awe of those who have had such an achievement. Never know, might get there one day. Lovely. Let's close this up. So now we've got the happy birthday, and I was wondering about doing a layered happy birthday behind it. And this one's got stars in a couple of different places. Ooh, I know what to do instead of stars. I shall use from the bee punch. So you've got the little body of the bee, you've got its wings, but these are also hearts. So let's enjoy these as hearts. Let me cut off a piece of this. So when you've got a builder punch and you don't want to punch out the whole thing, you just want to punch out part of it, the best way to do it is to get a strip, because then you can just line up the bits you want. Let's do another one of those little hearts. In fact, I'm going to do some of these hearts as well. Hopefully they'll fit. They will. Huzzah. Right. So let's get some dimensionals for these. We'll stick this on. I think so far this is working out quite a good imitation copy of the original. Quite pleased with this. Let's do big heart up at the top. Let's get another dimensional on there. I love cards like this where you're using up a nice amount of DSP, because let's face it, we all have a lot of DSP, don't we? I'm not the only one here. I know I'm not the only one here with a lot of DSP. And sometimes we love looking at it and stroking it more than we actually craft with it. But if we don't craft with it, then we don't fulfill its purpose. We need to enjoy creating with all of these beautiful things that we have accumulated over the years. Right, I'm going to put that one there. I'm going to put the dark one just above it there. I'm going to do this one up here. We'll put that one over here. There we go. Right, so that was the imitation one that I found in a box that I thought we would copy. That's got something on the inside and then that bit that stops in there. And then this is our version. So with the DSP, the whole card is made out of DSP, and it opens up. You've got something there to put the sentiment and the little pocket. Now, even as I'm doing this, I'm feeling there, and it's got that on the other side of it now. So when you do this, before you stamp whatever it is you're going to stamp down the center of it, do it first and then stick it in, because if I now try and stamp here, I've got a really ruggly bottom because that's on the other side, so that's going to be tricky to stamp on. In fact, what I will probably do is I will stamp on that and then stick that over the top. Nobody will be any the wiser. But that's quite a nice card. I like that. Credit goes to my lovely friend Becca, who was the one that gave me the original, but I think that's quite a good imitation, quite a good copy, and it's using up some of our gorgeous DSP before it retires. This is the masterfully made DSP, which is going, and the shimmer paper, I'm not 100% sure if this shimmer paper is retiring or not. Even if it's not, it's a good excuse to get it because it is beautiful. Right, I have got a second card idea that I've got for you tonight. This is one again that I saw online and I thought, ooh, I could make that. So we're going to start off with a piece of basic white. Let's do a basic white card blank. And then I want a layer to go on top of that, also in basic white. So I'm going to do, so my card blank is 14.8 by 10.5, and then this one I'm doing it 14.3 by 10, and that will give me a layer that will just fit nicely on the top there. So it's a white on white layer. Let me just show you up in the corner there. It's very subtle, but it's nice. And this is the bit that we're going to stick onto. Now what I want is, I am going to use, again, my circle punches. I don't want one that's that big. Yep, I'm going to be very naughty and I'm going to use a retired punch. Dun, dun, dun. Very naughty, Emma. But I think it'll be fine. I'm not overly concerned. Right, let's get the colours. So this here is Pretty in Pink that I'm going to team up with Melon Mambo. Then I'm going to use my Summer Splash, which I'm going to team up with my, is this Pool Party? No, it's my Coastal Cabana. You might have noticed here I'm trying to do colours that are slightly different, slightly paler than each other. Then, and I want to use the new ink colours as well. So let's use Petunia Pop, which I'm going to pair with Berry Burst. No, it's too dark. What am I going to pair Petunia Pop with? Petunia Pop and Bubble Bath. So Bubble Bath is the paler version of Petunia Pop. There we go. See, even as I look at that, I think that's not going to be dark enough. If we're using the Summer Splash, then let's try paling that with Pool Party. Yeah, that's better. Coastal Cabana is lovely, but it's not as pale as I want it to be. Need to go a bit darker. Right, then we've got our peach pie, which has got to be pumpkin pie, I think, to have the light and the dark, the light and the dark. So let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get the green now. So this is our Shy Shamrock, which I think needs to go with Shaded Spruce. Yeah, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, we need to get some purples in on the action here. So let's go for Highland Heather and needs to be Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape, doesn't it? Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. Need some blues. Let's go for Azure Afternoon and Blueberry Bushel. How many have I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think the only one really I'm missing is a yellow. I've got 2 greens, purples, blues, pinks. Let's go for a yellow. Let's take Lemon Lolly and Daffodil Delight. Right, lots of different colours here. Right now you're thinking, we're making a card with all of these colours. It's going to take us all night, but it's not. It's not, it's going to be quick. Quick and easy, she says, optimistically. Right, using a 1-inch circle punch here, you can use whatever sizes make sense to you, but basically you want all of your circles the same size. I think the longest bit about this card will have been picking the colours to choose. What do you think of the new in colours? Are you in love with them yet? Are you still thinking about them? Do you need to get your hands on them and have a proper play before you can make your mind up? I have got a card with all the in colours on it that I'm sending out with the catalogues, so watch out for that coming out in the post. If you've shopped with me in the last 6 months, you'll be getting one of those automatically. If you haven't, drop me a wee message and I'll pop one in the post to you. But I do deal with my VIPs first, and I didn't buy hundreds of catalogues. I think I've got enough, but they do cost me money, you know, and I'm living in terror of sending a catalogue off to somebody who just puts it in recycling, and it would break my heart, as well as my bank balance. Even if you're not sure about the in colours yet, what about the colours that I've brought out here so far? Do you have a preference in these? Are there some colours that you use all the time? Are there colours that you never use and you're intrigued to see what will happen next? Do you stay with the same colour palette, or does it change depending on what your project is? How do you feel about colour? I think those of you who've watched me for a while know that a lot of the time I go for my purples. I'm a big fan of my Highland Heather, my Gorgeous Grape. I do have favourites. I'm not going to pretend that I don't. Ouch. This is a good way to use up scraps as well. So if you've got little scraps of card, punch out some circles, and you'll see once I've got to the end how easy this card comes together. She says, hopefully and optimistically. I you can see as I punch these out, some of these little shapes, those are ones that I used for the colour samplers that I've made for you in the past. I know a lot of customers have had colour samplers from me. My long-suffering and very patient husband punched out a lot of those shapes for me. Two, four, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Right. So now let's just pair these up. So I want the dark ones on the outside and then the paler versions on the inside. G, B, I, V. Oh no, I only need 8 pairs and for some reason I've got 9 pairs. Which one am I going to get rid of? I think it's probably these two, isn't it? Go for these ones. Like that. Right, that's what I'm going to do. So then what I want to do is I'm going to line them up. Like so. Okay. This will all make sense in a minute, guys. Don't worry. Let me find my snips. Right. So now what I want to do is I'm not going to use my snips, I'm going to use my trimmer. I'm going to chop them in half. So I'm going to line that up, get that in half. And the good thing about this card is it's a twofer. You can make 2 cards for the price of one here. So you're going to cut each of these in half. Let's make sure that I keep these in the order that I want them in. So let's do all the outer ones first. So let's line these up. Chop them in half. Those ones. And now let's do these 3. There, and then these 2. The joy of the trimmer is that these lines that go across it horizontally are every 1/4 inch, which means it's really easy for me to find the 1/2 inch mark. So that goes there. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, and now I just need to do the ones in the middle. So let's do these 3 first. bottom 3. No comments in the chat about favourite colours. You're all too scared. All too confused about what it is I'm trying to do. We had a fun and lively debate with my team on our last team day about colour theory and how that works. And the colour wheel that's in the new catalogue is interesting, and it's a good way to spark discussion about colour. Right. Okay, next we're going to take these 4 and chop them in half again. So again, just using the lines on my trimmer to make this easy, giving me nice straight lines. You could use scissors. In fact, I did go and get my snips because I thought I'll use my snips, but actually the trimmer's just as easy. Let's put those quarters over there. And we're going to do the same with these ones. I was going to say I feel like Rolf Harris, you know, can you tell what it is yet? But given his, or the more recent discoveries made about him, maybe he's not exactly the role model we want to be talking about. Pop that over to one side. Yellow and the purple. Then, oops, I was going to say we've lost one. There it is. Right. So at the moment this all looks a bit mad. Let's start to put it together. And let's see what we get. So is that the same as that? So it's not that one I want, it's that one. There we go. Right. So I'm going to take my square that I've got here. I'm going to start off with this peach pie piece here. Stick it down center right there. There we go. I'm going to put the deeper one on the top, side it. Okay. Next, I'm going to take my bit of Prussian pink, stick that along beside it. Actually, I'm not. Pull that up and do this slightly differently. Mambo. I've changed my minds, ladies and gentlemen. Changed my minds. Oh, I forgot to say hello to everybody who's watching on YouTube, and hello to everybody who's watching later rather than right now. And I know, Jean, you said you would check in later, so a hello to you. Right. I'm going to stick that on there. And then we're going to stick this on there, like that. You're going to figure out very quickly what it is I'm trying to do here. And then at that point, the question will only be, yeah, but why? Why would you do that, Emma? Well, because I think it's going to look pretty. That's why. Let's put the lemon lolly onto Daffodil Delight. Let's stick that on there. Next up, so this is our Shy Shamrock. And let's pop that on that way, like that. I'm glad you like it, Karen. You've figured out what it is I'm doing. And let's face it, we have got so many beautiful colours with Stampin' Up. A card like this is so easy to do. I'm doing it in rainbow colours, but you could very easily do it in lots of different shades of pink, for example, or you could do it in different shades of green. You could do it in any colour palette you wanted, as long as you've got both the dark and the light. Let's put that onto here. Like an optical illusion, yes. It's meant to look like you've put frosted glass, a square of frosted glass on top of your circles. So that's where we're at so far. Let's do blues. There we go. There's my trusty gorgeous grape. It's a good idea to use Tombow for this technique because it is very forgiving. And then of course your last one, this one that's going to stress me out, is at the right. This is why I want to make sure I've left enough space. I think I have. There we go. And then my petunia pop on the outside. There you go. And then to finish that off, all I'm going to do is layer this basic white piece onto my card blank, just to give that little extra edge around it to make it look really finished and professional. There you go. What do you think? I think it's quite cool, isn't it? So just by using circles in different colours of card and having your pale on the inside and your deeper ones on the outside, you get this lovely effect. Now, what I want to do is just see if one of these stamps will fit inside and will look good. Just for you, it's a bit big, best of luck. Still a little big. The hello, there we go. Hello is going to fit in the middle just nicely. And I think I'll do that in black. Let me get that. Didn't clean off my stamp from last time. So I shall do that too. A little sentiment in black in the centre. That just finishes that off nicely. There you go. What do you think? Do you like it? I'm glad you like it, Julie. Fab. Right. So those have been our 2 cards this evening. 2 very different cards. This one inspired by one that I found in a box from one of my friends. And this one inspired by something that I saw online to give kind of like that frosted glass effect in the centre. I hope you like them. Right. So that's us for tonight, guys. I hope you have enjoyed that. As always, if you've got any questions, get in touch. And if you are inspired to make any of these cards, then please do share your designs with me. I love to see what you create. And have a great week. All right. Take care. Bye.